Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom, thank you for joining me. Today I am having a guest on. This is kind of interesting. I think you guys will find this fascinating. The title of the video, and let me get this right, it is The Dangerous Online Narcissist Predator Exposed, David Demars, with receipts. Now, my guest is Val Steele. So Val, as you may know, runs a channel, Truth Be Told. She used to run Toxic Free, but now she's got another channel, Truth Be Told. So I'm just going to welcome Val on, and then I'm going to ask Val some questions, because today's video is essentially in response to the video that she just released, with showing her receipts and her relationship with David Demars, the man who's never met her, doesn't know who she is. Anyhow, let's just say hello and welcome Val. Welcome, Val. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, darling. Nice to see you. So just quickly, for anyone who doesn't know, Val and I have been friends online for a few years. I've known about the situation with David Demars for probably about 5 years now. Yeah. I've wanted to do this video for a very long time, and there was different reasons why we didn't do it. But the reason we're doing it right now is that David recently, I think it was about 3 weeks ago maybe, released this. So released this video basically called Dangerous Online Narcissistic Predator Exposed. And it was all about you. Even though you hadn't actually done a video on him for over a year, he decided that he thought it was important that he talk to everyone and, you know, let them know all about you. So let's talk about it. Let's also go through the video that you brought out just recently. Thank you. Brilliant video, by the way, darling.
Thank you so much.
That's all right.
By the way, can I just say this is quite weird. I've never been interviewed like this before, so I'm feeling a bit nervous.
No, anyway, that's fine, darling. It's fine. It's all good.
I don't know whether you want to start with me just speaking out why I did this video.
That would be a great idea, actually. Definitely. Tell us why you wanted to do the video now.
I'll try and cut it short. Okay. Let's just say that if this person who's been doing to me what he has been for the past 4 years was just a normal YouTuber, I wouldn't be in this position now. I wouldn't even be here with all this 5 years of rubbish behind me. The reason that I do and have done what I've done, because he's a life coach, and I know that he's dealing with people who are vulnerable, and it worries me. So I started my Toxic Free channel because of my own abuse, and I wanted to help others. And after a while, God, this is going to be hard. I'm going to have to edit this bit out.
No, that's fine. It's fine. Listen, don't worry about it too much, because I think we're going to go into the video and show people, you know, those who haven't seen your video. I'm going to put a link in this. Yeah, I'm going to put a link in this to show people the video if they want to watch the whole thing as well. But we can go through it now.
I was friends with this person for about 14 months, 15 months. And I saw something in him that was very concerning. And I started making a video about these toxic traits. And I was actually making videos about my experiences in life to help others. So I did this video about this person, didn't mention his name, and he came back with trolling, and he came back with an attitude and a way of reacting to me that was quite surprising from a life coach, from an empathic person. He basically started attacking me. The more he attacked me, the more videos that I made about his attacks, because these attacks that he was doing were very manipulative, very toxic, and they showed a side to this life coach that worried me. The more I made videos, the more he came back trying to cover himself and do the smear campaign, discredit my word. The more he discredited my word, the more I made videos about what he was doing to me. So if anyone does decide to go watch my Toxic Free channel, what they'll do is they'll see me explaining what he's been doing to me, what he's been doing to others. The more videos that I made, then I started getting people emailing me with their own stuff, telling me what had happened to them. So in the end, I actually walked away from that channel because the amount of harassment and stress that I was going through with this, I decided that was it. I've done what I needed to do. The channel had come to a natural end, and I wanted to walk away from this toxicity. I put enough information out there that I thought would help people, whether they wanted to take this person on as their coach or not. A year later, I keep still for the past year, I've still seen, and people keep telling me that he's making videos about me. The obsession there was just weird. But what's happened is I actually walked away from that community, and I'm actually in a different community now. I actually help and support the Rusek family. I don't know if anyone's seen the Chris Watts case, but that's another story I might go into later. But I'm in another community now supporting somebody else who's been abused by another YouTuber. That's who I am. I like to help people, and if I can expose a toxic, manipulative narcissist, I will. That's just who I am. No excuses for it. But what's happened is this man has now followed me into this community. Now, considering I'm supposed to be the stalker and I'm trying to get away from him, he's actually following me. He's actually admitting he's stalking me while stalking me. And now he's actually getting involved with the community I'm in now, and getting involved with the people in my community, and really coming and starting to stir up trouble again. And this is why it's like, no, he had his chance to walk away and let this go, and he didn't take it. I left a year ago and haven't done a single thing about him since, and he will not stop. So this is why this video's come out. I know it was a long run up to the answer to the question and the answer, but that's why I put this video out now, because if this man cannot stop, and this man's obsessive and he's got this narc rage that he cannot get rid of, there is definitely something very, very concerning about this person. You know, I could have let it go, and I thought I'd done enough, but to keep attacking me and now follow me into this community, no. So I did this last video, and to be honest, I'll be honest, the last video was quite hard. This video that I've just done that we're going to talk about has been quite hard because I've used information that I never said I would. But sometimes you just have to do something if you feel that, where will this be in 10 years? Where is this going to go in 5 years? Is this going to ever stop? And I just want to put a stop to it. So I made this video. It's basically transparency, truth, and receipts, evidence, emails. And if people don't want to believe what I say, that's fine. I'm just putting the truth out for those people that might want to know who David really is.
This is actually a really compelling story. Like, I'm not joking when I say this story has, stalking, threats, sexual assault or alleged sexual assault. I mean, there is so much in this story. This could actually be made into a movie. I'm really not joking. So let's just take it one step at a time. Let's just start with this video and introduce those people who don't know David Demars, because some people aren't going to know of him. Some people obviously do know him. He does have a following. And to be honest, I actually used to follow David Demars in the beginning when I was first kind of finding out about narcissism. I, like many people, thought David Demars was awesome. I thought he was the bee's knees. That's because I didn't know enough about narcissism, and because he's also got very familiar energy, as in, when you've been involved with a narcissist, it's very easy to find another one attractive and appealing. And he comes across, he's got this certain kind of persona that is very appealing to newbies or people fresh out of narcissistic abusive relationships. So let's start with the video and just introduce the man who has, like I said, been calling Val a cyber stalker, a stalker, a crazy woman. He's called you a narcissist. He's called you a sociopath. He said the most ridiculous and outlandish things about you with zero evidence. He just
Zero evidence.
Absolutely zero evidence. He literally just thinks that people are going to take his word for things. And sadly, a lot of his viewers do just take his word. I mean, they literally do. They just gobble it all up. They don't think twice. They don't ever challenge him. And they just believe the narrative that he is spinning. Now, the biggest lie that this man has been telling this entire time is this whole, I don't know her. I've never met this woman. This woman's just some crazy stalker that follows me around the internet. I've never met her. I don't know her. He says to his viewers, I've had more exchanges with you in the comments section here than I ever did with this person. Now, that story, like I said, first he's gone from saying he never knew you at all. Then he's changed to, I've had a little bit of communication with her, just over her channel. But you actually have the receipts. You have 14 months worth of phone calls, audio chats, text messages, emails. It's all there. So let me just quickly grab my screen share up, and I want to share the delightful David Demars. And I say that obviously very sarcastically. All right, here we go, darlings. Let's meet David Demars. So this is Val's video, the intro. just talking about obviously the smear campaign that David Demars has run on her this whole time, trying to discredit her and destroy her reputation. He's done a pretty good job of that, trying to make her out to be a liar, crazy stalker.
You're a social reject. You're antisocial and you're nasty and nobody likes you and nobody wants you. And if you think it's okay to be like this socially, outright, in public, there's something wrong with your head that everybody else knows it's wrong, but you don't.
Wow.
No one likes you. No one wants you.
Fascinating. I mean, straight up.
In that
Yeah.
scene, you can see he's very angry.
I'm just going to try and pause that. Sorry, just pausing that. Yeah, as you can see, straight up, very angry, and dog whistling all the time to you.
I've actually recently had a friend that was querying me over it, and she was saying, I've been watching his videos, but I can't see him say anything about you. And that's the most frustrating thing, because normal bullies, normal nasty people will be nasty out front, and you've got your choice whether you want to be in that person's company or not. They can swear at you, they can be racist, discriminative, they can be misogynistic. David hides all that behind a certain look. Now, what people need to remember, and I'm hoping that this will actually educate people as well. This is why I want to do this video, and it might be very long, and I will section it up if that's the case. Narcissists, the abuse that narcissists do is they play the victim of an innocent person. So if you've got a man shouting and swearing, calling you a bitch and you're ugly and you're fat and really being abusive and nasty, that's abuse. If you've got somebody sitting there saying, oh, I'm being stalked by this person, it's really upsetting me. I just don't know what to do anymore. I can't handle it. She's emailing me. She's texting me. People don't see that as abuse. People see that as a victim talking about the abuse from somebody else. And that's what David's been playing on. That's how he gets away with it. For the past 4 or 5 years, he's played the victim of an innocent person. And that's narcissism. And
I was literally about to say, Val,
yeah.
Really, I mean, the reason that narcissists, for those who don't know this, the reason narcissists do this is because they're in their thinking, they're very black and white. So you're either a victim or an abuser, and you can't be one, you can't be both. So that's why he's playing this story, he's telling this narrative, he's trying to create the character that he's the victim, so therefore he can't be the abuser. You know, whereas healthy people, there's obviously a spectrum. So you could be a victim in one case, but you might be abusive to another person. You know, there's that. Whereas with narcissists, very, very black or white. I want to play more because I just think I'm just going to get to, if I can. I wanted to share his text messages to you. I wanted to leave that playing in the background.
We can link this video underneath here so people can watch the full thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to play this bit, just you speaking, Val, because he says that, you know, oh, you created your channel just to abuse him. That's all you ever did. But in actual fact, you had created the channel when you guys were friends and were talking to each other. So I just want to play this little bit just here.
I never knew. The last thing I ever thought was I would find a toxic person in the community that I was in.
Someone who's a liar makes videos on YouTube, or you want to know if someone's lying, right? So they got their bangs coming down and covering part of their face, or even extremists covering an entire eye. You're nuts. You're sick. You're perverse. You're morally wrong.
That's another thing, just quickly. I mean, there's not a life coach alive that actually talks like that.
The thing about him.
Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
The thing that David does, fires at me, but forgets that he's shooting shrapnel at the people who are watching him. Now, that was aimed at me, and that's the dog whistle. People watch that and don't actually realise, unless you're told, do you know what, that's about another hairdresser, that's about another channel. You know, people aren't going to pick it out. The information isn't there for people to register. So when they watch that, they might be thinking, oh, my goodness, my sister's got a long fringe. Oh, my husband's grown his hair long. You can't gaslight and dog whistle somebody in a video where it's going to be detrimental to the people who don't understand really what they're watching. What they're watching is abuse, but they don't know they're watching the abuse. Now,
it's directly at you, and he doesn't care who hears that incorrect information.
You say something that only one person can hear. Everybody else just sees it as a normal sentence. That to everybody's like, oh my goodness, is that going to be like long fringes? No, that's dangerous, because although that was aimed to to point at me and to wind me up and to bait and to provoke me and to make people see me as a narcissist. It doesn't help. It's against the rules and ethics of life coaching.
I'm
That's
sorry,
not
I'm smiling. It just
coaching.
seemed, yeah, I'm sorry. It's so ridiculous that he could even, like I said, pretend to be a life coach. You know, I mean,
Giving
telling
out
people
that wrong
that
information.
exactly, telling people
That's
that
wrong
narcissists have their
information.
hair over their eyes is just beyond ridiculous.
Manipulative people have long fringes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
hell, a couple of years ago, long fringes. I mean, I've always had a long fringe. It's just me. It's just the way I am, you know, but it doesn't mean anything. And people need to watch this and hope that they can see the difference between a good person and a bad person. And they really need to know what a narcissist is. They keep saying he's not a narcissist, he's a nice guy. Narcissists are nice guys.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not always, unlike bullies, they're not always kind of nasty to everyone. They target individual people, especially people who upset them. In actual fact, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because one of the reasons that I know, so just quickly, just winding it back, right? When I first met you, all I really knew of you was what I had heard from David Demars, right? Because although he never says your name, he makes a point of saying, oh, I never say her name. Right. Even though he says that, he leaves comments in where people are talking about you, specifically your first name and your channel name. So he knows that he's sending hate your way. Like, he knows that. So even though he says he doesn't say your name, he absolutely does say your name.
He does.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And he absolutely is targeting you. He's whistling, dog whistling to you. And like you say, other people may not understand what's going on with him, but it's very much so targeted at you. So when I first met you, like I said, I only knew kind of through the channel, through David Demars, and you literally had to come and explain yourself to me. Well, you didn't have to, you chose to, because you wanted to make sure that I understood what was going on. And you showed me all of the evidence, all of the information. Now, even with all of that, right, I have still got a critical mind. And there are things that I have done. Obviously, I've watched over the years, and I've watched him and I've watched you. And there is no doubt in my mind that David is toxic. He's very, very unwell. And he's obsessed with you, because one of the main reasons why I say this is I've heard him talk about you more than his alleged abuser. You know, he apparently started this channel because of this crazy narcissistic ex-girlfriend, but he talks about you more than he talks about her. So that kind of shows me that A, he abused her, so he was the abuser in this situation, and that, like a true narcissist, you've become his new supply, or you became his new supply, and he's narcissistically injured towards you, because of the way your friendship, ended. The fact that you dared to speak up against him, the fact that you actually told the truth about him, whereas his, former victim, the one he accuses of being an abuser, he doesn't talk about her at all, other than to say outrageous things that we'll discuss later on. And we will talk about that later. And we are going to talk about David's ex, Ronnie, and the fact that her and Val were in contact with each other not until just recently, but you've checked in to make sure that she's alive, because David Demars has actually tried to say that Ronnie is not alive, that his abuser, as he calls her, my abuser is dead, he says. So we know that she's not. I mean, unless someone is just happened to be on her messenger on Facebook, on her profile, then maybe. So, and like I said, we'll discuss that further on down the track. But for anyone who doesn't know, I want to get to the bits. I'm just going to share my screen again, because I really want to get to the bit of this video where you actually show this 14 months of communication. And he says, like I said, oh, I don't know her, and I've never had anything to do with her, blah, blah, blah. Oh, hang on. What's this?
I don't know this person. They don't know me. I had less interaction with this person than some of you watching this video. The back and forth comments, you ask me a question, I answer them, much more than I've ever had with this one person. There's someone who's some gross YouTube channel who just picks people and just tries to destroy them. That's what they're all about. They have another YouTube channel. They do it to several people. I happen to be one of them that they target. I don't know this person. They claim that they know me and they know all these personal things about me and come up with lies and stuff like this. She doesn't know me. Week after week with a video coming out with new lies and new stuff about a person from a person that does not know who you are at all. In fact, you don't know me. You don't even know me.
Oh, look, here's all the emails from Crazy Narcissistic Ex-Girlfriend.
I've had zero contact with this person.
Guys, stick with us.
That's just the emails. Wait till you see the text messages. So I'm just going to forward it to the text messages. There we get the starting. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, David Demars.
I don't know her. I don't know her.
Yep, doesn't know you. Oh, lots of talking.
I didn't edit. The only things I edit out was a few emails, personal emails that I sent him about my ex at the time that I took out.
You don't know me.
I don't know him. Obviously. It's
Obviously not. I hope this doesn't wake you, but I would still really like to talk to you tomorrow if you want to.
Yeah. There's a few ones that I've kind of brought out because they're very interesting.
I'm just going to keep playing if that's all right.
Yes.
I mean, it just goes.
It goes on for a long time. Audio 1 minute, 1 hour 37. So this, we chatted for 1 hour and 37.
That particular time. Yeah, you can see at the top of the screen 1 hour 37 minutes. Yeah. That's just one of the very many times.
Yeah.
It's.
I left this running for a long time. I didn't want to cut it short or speed it up too much because I needed people to sort of sit there and go, God, how long is this going to go on for? I needed people to see, look, he says he doesn't know me, or he's had more interaction with a comment under his video than he has with me.
He's a liar.
I need to understand, and I do apologize if I ever get sort of stressed in this thing because it does trigger people, and I know people watching this. It's just difficult. It's been a difficult video to make, and it's been hard to watch and have to edit all this down. But to know that this person is lying, the major lie is I don't know this person. I don't know her. I've never spoken to her. That should register in somebody's head that it's not a good thing, that he's denied me from the start. Anyway, I'll let you continue. I'll try not to keep interrupting.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, this is what I always say, liars lie. So just us proving here that how badly he lied about such a basic thing. Oh, I didn't know her. Why did he have to lie about that? Why couldn't he have said, oh, yeah, we were friends for 14 months, we had a falling out, but because he's so egotistical, he couldn't actually admit to having been friends and having had a falling out. In his mind, it's so much better, the story that he's telling, that, oh, you're just some crazy stalker that's just, you just want to be with him so badly. Anyhow, let's just let this play a little bit longer.
The story has changed over the years as well.
The story has changed over the years. No,
first
you're right.
It was that I fancied him and I wanted to be with him and he refused me. And then it was he helped me, but I never said thank you. And then it changed from I've never met her. I've had like 2 conversations with her because I didn't speak to her anymore. And then she decided she was going to stalk me. I think if he can create what he's done over the past 4 years as well, he's created me into being this weird, psychopathic. I've been called malignant, dark triad, borderline personality disorder, narcissist. He's literally called me every disorder under the sun because for some reason he just thinks because I keep coming back with the truth. And I think at the beginning he did presume that I would just go away. But that's not who I am. That's why I also want to just say one thing is I have 2 channels. Well, I have 3 because I had to start another channel because my last channel got struck because of the person that I'm exposing. That's something we'll go into maybe soon. But, I don't abuse good people. I don't expose people that have done nothing wrong. That's who I am. And I'm not going to apologize to anybody being a person on this earth who, I keep getting called antisocial, personality disorder, sociopathic. If I want to help my neighbors, if I want to point out bad people on this planet, the only people that have a problem with that are the bad people on this planet.
Exactly, so the ones that you're pointing at.
Everything. Yeah, I'm annoying. Yeah, I'm opinionated. Yeah, David says, I shake my head at people and I point and stuff. Well, wow, a lot of people do that. But this is me. And if I want to expose nasty people because I can't stand the fact that they're dealing with vulnerable. When I was coming out of narcissist abuse, I think, if I wasn't David's friend and if I was David's client, God help where I would be today.
Well, can I actually just quickly say, because it's really important that we do discuss the incident in Mexico, and that we also talk about his clients, because one of the things that I have noticed is he's trying to use you as an excuse for why he's got bad reviews, and why people are leaving his business, etc. However, once again, I have seen all the evidence from those clients of his, clients that he's ghosted, clients that he's abused, clients that he has talk sexually inappropriately. Anyhow, but so I want to get through to that. So let's just play just quickly some more of this video, just so people get an understanding of just how long you guys were actually talking for. You know, so if anyone's,
this person.
I don't know this person.
He invited me to Las Vegas. There you go.
2-hour call just then.
Yeah, yeah.
He invited you to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I saw those
Yeah, and he was going to get me a helicopter trip across the Grand Canyon.
Oh, how romantic. You see, so by the sounds of, from what I see in these text messages between you two, and what I also saw in the emails from his clients who had, for various reasons, had stopped working with him, it's a very similar pattern. You know, he does the love bombing, he gets people involved, and then as soon as they try and stand up to him anyway or challenge him in any way, that's when he starts being abusive, essentially. But let's just show just some more of this.
I had less interaction with this person.
I miss you.
With some of you.
Oh, yeah, I miss you. Oh, no, sorry, honey. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, Val. I really am. Do you know what's funny is that you can actually hear, I mean, because I know what David Demars is like. You know, he's a liar through and through. So he will try and say, oh, no, Val just wrote all these things to herself backwards and forwards.
Yeah, he said that. He's already put that out there. So that
he's already put that narrative out there.
Yeah, the narrative is that I actually email myself with his name, address, blah, blah, blah. But there's no way I can actually make up this, seriously. So I've kept the dates at the top and no.
Exactly. And the thing is, look, this is 14 months over 2016 and I think 17. So, I mean, you know, let's just weigh up, you know, just being practical. What is more likely? Is it more likely that they spoke to each other for 14 months, or that Val, you know, who works full time, and, you know, that Val just spent 14 months sending herself text messages backwards and forwards and ringing herself for hours on end? I mean, you know, it's quite obvious. You know, he can deny as much as he wants. This is quite obvious proof. All right, so I wonder if I can speed this up. I'm not sure if I can speed it up. I just want to 58 minutes.
Call. Happy New Year, Val. Thanks, maybe I can get that
someday. Oh, maybe someday I can get that.
I sent him a hug and he said I can get that in person. See, that this is a man who
is a bit flirty, if I can say.
It's just, you know. Sorry.
You okay?
I'm fine. I've just got an itch.
Oh, that's fine. I can't see you, so I'm just hoping you're okay. Because I'm sharing my screen, all I can see is David Demars and his little text. So I'm going to keep going while you scratch your itch, and then let's just see. So we've got, I mean, you know, it goes on and it goes on. You know, 14 months basically of texting backwards and forwards. This is me speeding it up. All right. So this is just quick.
This is how it ended. Should we just go over this quickly?
Yeah, go for it, Val.
Now, I have made a video. When I do this video out, the links to everything that I've used in the video is underneath. Now, the video that this section here is about is called the JEKYLL and HYDE of YouTube. Now, what David did, he sent me a Thanksgiving message saying how great I was, how fantastic I was. Here we go. Hello, Val. We've not spoken for a long time. Yeah, holiday season. I just want to thank you for being there. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for supporting me. You know, and if you get time, you can always pause on my video on this one as well and read it all. But it's basically saying how great a friend I was. Now, at first, looking back, as you always do with this type of relationship, you see red flags, but you don't see them at the time. I thought
Yep.
this was lovely. I thought this was a friend thanking me for supporting him for the past 14 months. But then what happened is I wrote back and said, oh, thanks, that's lovely. I said, I haven't felt like I could maybe talk to you as much because you've been really busy, so I'm sorry. But then he sent me another one saying, why do you think that we haven't spoken? What have I done? Have I not been there for you? Have I not been doing everything for you? And I was like, well, yeah, no, you're great, So, and I said, are we okay? Happy Christmas, Happy New Year. And everything seemed okay. And he said, yeah, I'm fine. And then on New Year's Day night at 8:00, I remember the time, I got the most disgusting, hateful, disgusting, how can I call it, a discard email. And this is all in the video. And it was basically saying, you haven't helped me. You haven't done anything for me. You unsubbed. And actually, I didn't unsub. As we all know, that sometimes YouTube does unsub people. And back 4 years ago, we didn't really know what YouTube tactics and things they got up to. You unsubbed me, you didn't thank me, you've never thanked me. And if anybody wants to stop and slow down the chat, you'll see how many times I thank him. I don't care what's in that video chat, you can read everything that we spoke about. I'm going to be transparent. I don't really care anymore. If there's anything in that that's embarrassing to me, that's how willing I am to tell the truth. I will put everything out that I know, even if it maybe drags me into it. Yeah. So he wrote that, and I was absolutely gobsmacked. And it was like, leave me alone. Don't send me any bullshit messages anymore. That ship sailed again. It sailed.
Here we go. 1st of January. Sorry, I just put the slide up on the screen. Yep. You are not a friend. Friends don't treat me like this. Friends are honest and supportive, like I've always been with you. I tell thousands of people to support my friend, and I did. I would ask you how you grew your channel so fast, and never a thank you. Never. You've never supported me at all, Val. Oh, dear. Honestly,
That's the weirdness. That's the manipulation, because if he really felt like he did the first time, he wouldn't write this. Or if he really felt like this, he wouldn't have said what he did in the Thanksgiving. Which one is him? And that's the trouble with people who are narcissistic. They are two different people, and they will be who they want to be depending on what situation they're in or who they're talking to. So apparently for something, I didn't play his game. And I put in my video, JEKYLL and HYDE, I didn't know I was playing a game. He did. He was playing the manipulation game. I didn't. So I wasn't feeding or doing something and that's why he turned on me.
Yeah.
But the JEKYLL and HYDE video is about this, about how hurt I was by somebody. And, to be honest, if you do not want to have videos made about you, don't go and discard someone who's got a big mouth on a platform. Now, I've got a bigger mouth now than I did back then, because I know more about this situation, and I know about narcissism, and I know more about manipulation tactics.
And you know more about David, Val. That's the other thing.
So much about this person and what he's put me through and what he's put other people through. So I am a different person to I was back then. And I just started out in my experiences and my researching of narcissism. I might have gone the wrong way around of replying to him and responding to him, but that's just what I knew at the time. Mind you, looking back, I wouldn't have changed anything. I wouldn't have, because he's dangerous. And I needed to get out that this man was toxic. Why is he doing it? But he didn't leave it there. He didn't write to me and say, Val, look, I'm sorry we fell out. Can you take that video down? That's what I'm
absolutely. It could have ended there, and it should have ended there, but because he's narcissistically injured.
Yeah, but he was narcissist injured, and what happens is that injury takes over from your emotional, your brain, your cognitive brain. It takes over. You don't think straight. Oh, I best apologize to Val. You just want revenge. So after that, it was video after video after video, which I documented it in my video, and it was a bit of a ping pong. But if people, want to watch my channel, they'll see what went on. I
just want to go. Sorry, Val. I wanted to share because one of the things we know is that what you knew about David when you first knew David is nothing compared to what you knew 14 months, 24 months, 36 months down the track. Now, the Mexico meetup was a huge scandal that rocked the YouTube narcissistic abuse community, but then was covered up very quickly, and smear campaigns were run on those who had spoken up on behalf of the victim and tried to hold David Demars accountable, essentially. So do you want to just quickly tell, just briefly, tell people about the Mexico meetup?
Yeah. There was another YouTuber life coach, which I won't mention because that's another kind of worms that I don't want to open. She was friends with David, and let's say there were birds of a feather flocked together. And she had this meetup for survivors in Mexico. She lives there, and everybody was really excited. There wasn't that many turned up, but who did turn up, it kind of went sideways. David turned up, and this is only alleged. Let me just say alleged. And I know this is one thing, but what can I say? It's 50-50. You believe it or you don't believe it. But where there's smoke, there's fire. It looks like a duck, it's a duck. He got out there. I think what happened with what I'd heard from the host, he didn't expect it to be as failure as it was. So he kind of got a bit angry. He got drunk. And then he decided that he was going to come on to a victim who had thought she was out there just to meet these two life coaches that she respected. She'd watched on YouTube. She thought she was going to have a fantastic support meeting and come away from it with something really, really, really positive and motivational. And what happened is she just got sexually inappropriately treated in her hotel room. She ended up having to say to David that she was a cock tease, as David called her that she was had drunk too much, and she did lead him on, only to calm him down because she was so terrified of the situation she found herself in. This is the trouble with narcissistic people. I'm not going to say narcissists because again I keep getting into trouble for calling people narcissists. I'll say narcissistic people. Is they put on this cover of being a really good person so you trust them.
Absolutely.
Just
Val, sorry. I just wanted to play this video because I think that Evening Ransom, who attended Mexico meetup, she's a YouTuber and has a channel on narcissistic abuse. She was there. And I think, what she has to say was quite I don't know. Here we go.
Was just
just quickly. So she's actually reading. So the host of the Mexico meetup came out very strongly on the side of the victim in the beginning, until they realized that if David Demars was charged with this, that maybe as the host and facilitator of the event, maybe there would be some kind of either legal repercussions or some kind of blowback on them, the host. And so they did a full 180 and went from basically saying that, yes, that David Demars was a predator, to the most horrific smear campaign I've ever witnessed of this poor victim. I mean, the stuff that got said about this woman, it just, just absolutely horrific. So anyhow, so this is Evening Ransom, like I said, who has a channel.
Along with me for making videos about this.
Who also got smeared. So Val and Evening Ransom also got smeared for exposing it. Evening Ransom, was at Mexico meetup. But Val obviously also talked about it because she'd had this history with David Demars and wanted to essentially tell people about it. All right.
Really threatened and really intimidated, and a bunch of really inappropriate things were said to her and all this stuff by this person who is posing as a life coach, who is clearly disordered in some way. The thing that really, really bothered me was that once this thing happened and this poor woman came there and had this terrible thing that went on for 2 days, this crazy guy who's now, even while he's doing that, he's there in his room uploading videos, trying to answer people's questions.
Hi everybody, my name's David. Doing the Q&As from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I'm having a blast, been here a few days now.
Had I been in her shoes, I would have known he was a problematic person because he had problematic behaviors even before this was happening. There was a predator invited in and told to vulnerable people that this is someone you can trust. Then he abused somebody and she knew about it and did nothing.
Said, but yeah, David he was up there answering questions, doing a video, and didn't care less that this poor victim was suffering at the hands of him.
Yeah, absolutely, just
It
horrific.
really hurts me. This is just too much. Yeah, I'm trying not to get stressed.
So this, yeah, so this is the email, just quickly. So this is the email from the host to the group, because there was a group of women there. Evening Ransom was on this list, as you can read there. So something very strange happened here. There was a super predator amongst us. Elle, who's the victim, Elle was aggressively attacked, sexually harassed in a very deviant manner, held hostage, isolated, manipulated, screamed at, called names, humiliated, threatened, and all communication and interaction were manipulated. Every attempt to get people together was controlled and manipulated. So this is the host, like I said, who then further on down the track a few days later had an epiphany, and oh no, all of a sudden now, no, she's on the side of the abuser, or the accused abuser, and not the victim. Let me just see. I'll just go back to just say, just to show Evening Ransoms what she had to say about this.
If I didn't speak up, what's happening there? I was involved with, not saying something and knowing that someone was an abuser, and then someone else gets harmed, and they are going to.
That's an interesting point.
It was a clear sign that he's, not stable at all. He is a threat and he's a danger, but as long as I'm here, you can trust me to tell you the truth. And the truth is that there are people on YouTube who are putting themselves out there as pillars of the community and as healers that are dangerous, that are threats, that are unhealed. Anyone that speaks out against them, becomes like focus of a smear campaign or something. And, I'm not going to be intimidated into being silent and letting an abuser out there, letting people, setting people up to be abused. And that's, not right for me. And it's not right. And I would be enabling that if I said nothing. So I'm saying something.
I think it's really, oh, let me just pause that. I think it must be really, really hard. And I really admire how strong you have been, because not only did you have David Demars running a smear campaign, you also had the host of the Mexico meetup jumping in, and she is just vicious and woo, that's a whole other story altogether.
Like she would make very overt videos about me. They weren't covert, they weren't dog whistles. They were videos about me.
Yeah, just horrible. So I think that you've been really brave, and I do commend you for that, because a lot of people just wouldn't have, a lot of people would have just shut down, gone away, forgotten about it, been quiet. And actually, look, that probably leads us into his ex, because she, David Demars calls her, his abuser. When he rarely talks about her, he calls her his abuser. But in actual fact, from the communications that you have had with her, by the sounds of it, he was the abuser towards her. And she is very traumatized by her experience with him. So tell us a little bit about Ronnie and the relationship that you've got from the emails. Because just quickly, let's just put it on the record. This is all documented. There's all text messengers between Val and Ronnie. This is not just Val, casting aspersions. This is fact.
I would never actually accuse anybody of anything without any proof. I've never done that. If I've got some information, if I don't have the proof, I don't talk about it.
And for years, just quickly, you sat on this proof. That's the other thing. For years, you literally sat on this proof.
This is something that I must admit has been hard. Trying to get upset. It does upset me, because it's got to the point where I can't hold on to anything anymore. Like I say, if David had his chance a year ago to just leave me alone, and because he hasn't, and he's still attacking me and others, it's like, right, do you know what? And in fact, I've even put in the video that I might even quit YouTube after this, because this is how much my morals have felt like I've gone down. I have posted Ronnie's messages in this video. and I've blurred them out, and I've only sort of like let the real ones that are of interest to come out. Ronnie watched my videos. So what she did, she contacted another friend of mine who then put her in touch with me because she was a little bit nervous whether to get in touch with me straight away. And when she got in touch with me, and again, you'll see the video, I was absolutely gobsmacked at what she was telling me. Now, David has since said that I'm lying and that she's dead. She's not dead. She's got her profile up and she's everything. But anyway.
What a horrific thing to say. Sorry, just quickly.
Yes,
what
and
a
that's also
outrageous thing.
That if she's going to say, you know, leave my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend out of this, that is dangerous. And this is the kind of stuff which is why I'm doing this video, because the man is just anyway. So Ronnie contacted me and we had a really good long chat, and I've got the messages. She did say, please, she was traumatized. She's been in therapy, and David says about that and says I made it up. She was in therapy for about 8 years because of David. She was 18 and David was 29 when they got together. Now, an 18-year-old and a 29-year-old, they're completely different maturity levels as well. And I don't know whether she has, and I don't want to say anything, but whether there's anything there that David, being David, picked up on and decided to. Because if you're an 18-year-old and maybe you have, I don't know if she had borderline personality disorder or anything, but he seems to hate people with that. So that makes me give me an inkling that maybe she did, and that's the trigger he gets. She was acting like a teenager, going out, having fun, and he wanted to control her, and that's where the situation got. She said to me, and I believe her, and this is I can say alleged, but I'm not going to say alleged when it comes to Ronnie, because she's the actual victim. You can say alleged to people who are talking about a situation that they've heard, but when you're talking to a victim, it's not alleged. To me, it's real. To hear her talk about what David did to her, how he beat her up, and there's pictures of her in the Las Vegas police station all bloodied, how she had to run away from him, pack her bags and leave him in the middle of the night. And in fact, this is very important. We all know that narcissist people kind of are triggered by a certain date. He discarded me on New Year's Eve at 8 o'clock. That is the very moment that she left him, New Year's Eve. So whether that was a trigger, I don't know what was going on in his head, but it's not healthy. And
that's fascinating. Just quickly, sorry, that is fascinating. It's one of those juicy little things like, oh wow, interesting.
There was something there. And it's also, you know, that narcissistic people like to hurt people on special days, you know.
Absolutely.
And I opened up to David and talked to David about a lot of stuff in my life, you know, and he was a friend. He was a friend at the time, and I don't open up to people that I don't know. For him to do that, God. But anyway, so that Ronnie was telling me everything that had been going on. She was telling me about David, and she was saying how much she was triggered by what was going on. She found it very, very difficult to talk to me, and this is why it's so hard, and this is why it's so upsetting for me to do these things, because I can't hold on to it anymore. And you know, I've been talking to you for the last few weeks, months, saying what should I do, what do I do, and it's been a nightmare for me to think, you know, I have to put these messages out. And that is why, because I've thrown my morals to one side, I just feel disgusted with myself. I do, for doing it.
I think that, look, I think that you did a good job holding on to all those secrets for all those years when you had David Demars saying all these revolting things about you that could have been so easily disproved had you not had that kind of moral conflict going on. Yeah. So the fact that you, like I said, that you put up with abuse for 5 years to protect Ronnie is, once again, I commend you for that. I also have said to you that I think that, you know, it's been 5 years. She, by the looks of it, has moved on. She's in a relationship. She's happy. I think that the fact is that David Demars is creating new victims daily with his channel and his life coaching. And I think that at the end of the day, the truth has to come out about this. And for him to be telling people that she's dead and that you're talking to that you're crazy and you're talking to dead people, you know, I mean, he's just once again using it as a way to discredit you. But in actual fact, as you said, in this video, you literally have proof that Ronnie was online, her messenger, you know, the little green light, whatever, was a few days ago, a week ago.
Yeah, there's no comments, missing you, love hearts, broken hearts. There's no, you know, goodbye, my friend. There's no miss you forever.
On her Facebook,
on her Facebook, you know. And I wasn't going to go in and start showing proof of that. But I did show proof of where she was online about a week ago. You know, it's just, again, that will be twisted and it'll be like, oh, that's somebody else's. She's just found somebody else called Ronnie. But you know, the messages are underneath it, so it just proves it is that page. But they'll try everything. But that broke my heart to have to do that, and I'm so sorry for having to do that. But I cannot sit there and watch him abuse me and abuse other people. And that's the main thing. Again, I can handle it. I've got strength. He's actually created a real empathic bitch out of me, because that's what I've turned into.
Yeah.
You know, just because an empath can get angry, an empath can point fingers and swear and get annoyed, doesn't mean they're not an empath anymore. We all can get that way. But that's what he'll pick on. You know, he'll say things, oh, she's not an empath because she's nasty. I'm like, oh, I can get nasty, but it doesn't mean I'm nasty to the right people. I'm not nasty to good people.
And that's that thing we were talking about with the narcissist and the black and white thinking, how you can either only be one or the other. Whereas like what you just said, an empathic bitch, we actually can be two things quite easily.
So much strength from him. But yeah, so anyway, going back to that, I felt bad. I've also in the video put messages of other victims as well. I've put as much.
Actually, I'll see if I can get to some of that, Val.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important, because it's, you know, this is the thing, like I said, first of all, the very first thing that you have shown without a doubt is that David Demars is a liar. You know, you've got all the evidence of your 14-month plus friendship, you know, and he is on record repeatedly talking about how he doesn't know you, how you've never met him.
He only said it last week. Actually, not last week, 2 days ago. I don't know this person. He said it again.
Yeah. He says it the whole time. So I'm just scrolling through just quickly the whole Mexico meetup. Let's just see what this is. David Demars.
He faked an account to abuse me and others. He used my Facebook profile picture.
Yep, that's
because
you there.
I got harassed by somebody, and other people were coming to me and saying, Val, there's an account that's harassing us under his video. I looked at it, and I have an HTML app, so I put that in. And I recognised the face. So what he's done, he's gone into my Facebook page and taken my face of a filter of an evil person.
So let's just go and have a little look at some more of this video. There's just so much. There really is just so much. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that one there is when he used my face on a profile. He went into Facebook, took my face out of my Facebook profile pictures, and then decided to stalk and harass people under his own video. And I have an HTML app, so I put it in there. And what happened? It connected me to David. So that was actually David's profile that had changed the name and changed the face to abuse me and others under his video.
Now, as outrageous as that sounds, and it does sound outrageous, now there's two things. Sorry, there's three things actually. There's you saying that. There's also in the emails from his clients, there is one of them talking about how David was was wanting to be a skip tracer. David himself also admits that he got someone. He says he got someone to look into every aspect of your life, as in you, Val, which is stalking. It's fascinating how he has exposed himself. You know, everything he accuses you of essentially is the stuff that he's doing. All right. Sorry, I was just going to say, look, we know that you reached out to other coaches who could see quite clearly that the way David behaves is not normal.
One, in fact, also got reached out, that's the right saying, by David. David actually wrote to her trying to get her to enable him to harass me. But that's in the video. And she admitted that David had talked to her, but she got a funny feeling from him, and she actually realised that it was me that was being abused, not him. So that was nice to have that confirmation. And she was going to expose him, but for some reason, I think she decided it was just too much.
Probably.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you know, to be real, when I first knew about this, I wanted to do a video about it. And I spoke to a close confidant who said to me, do you want to keep the channel? Or, you know, so that's the reality, is that for smaller channels, you can't go speaking out against big channels because they do have the platform to essentially destroy you. And obviously, these particular channels, although they might have been on equal par with David, obviously felt it was a risk, too much of a risk, essentially. So can you see on the screen at the moment?
Yep.
So good morning, Val. So this is from one of David's clients who said, I paid $100 for a imbibing, which by the sounds of it means drunk.
I know
Imbibing.
that. Sorry, I'm being a bit dense.
Imbibing.
If I don't know what it means, explain what it means to people watching. What does that
So
mean?
imbibing means drunk, someone who's been drinking alcohol.
Okay.
So,
now you see, I was not aware of that, so I'm glad you explained that. That's also
so mostly talking about himself with a lot of too much information, especially about the size of his eggplant.
Manhood.
I know. I was vulnerable and emotional, and he was absolutely no help. I also remember feeling completely financially ripped off after the call. He overpromises and underdelivers, that's for sure. At the time, I had no clue that he was the real narc and not his ex. I stopped watching him and the abrasive Kim at the same time. I moved on to other channels that resonated with me more. I think that a lot of his viewers are newbies, like I've said it before. I think a lot of the people that go to his channel are newbies. And as I said before, I think that they resonate with that narcissistic energy. That's why they're attracted to it. That's why they feel so comfortable with him, essentially.
Yeah.
And that when they heal a little bit more, that's when people actually will move on. All right. So, and then you've been contacted by other narcissistic life coaches. Is that correct?
No, this is a client of his. Please let me know if you would talk. I just watched one of your videos about your recent experience with a YouTube life coach. I know who you're talking about too. I fired him as a life coach a few months ago. Please let me know if you'd like to talk to me. Thank you so much.
Okay,
and
so
I got contacted by a lot of his clients, and what I heard, most of them would speak to me on the phone or messenger. What I heard happened between David and the clients was just disgraceful for a life coach.
Well, this one here, it's literally
our conversation, but because that's, it's been a difficult one.
I just wanted to say this email in particular is saying, it looks like it's a comment that they've put on his YouTube channel or on his Facebook. It looks like YouTube though, saying, David, I asked for the last 2 sessions I paid for to be refunded because I'm not comfortable receiving coaching from you any longer. I spotted several red flags and there are other reports from people on the internet which are concerning. After my 3rd email, you actually replied in a manner that another life coach said was malicious and abusive. I paid you $349 and received only 2 sessions. Why aren't you returning my $151? I'm a widowed parent who suffered narcissistic abuse in the past. I'm assuming she's saying I need my money back. This is some of the reports that I've also read on Facebook in the review section from clients of his who, when he's asked them to pay up, for a 10 session or 3 sessions or whatever in advance, essentially, and then ghosted them and then not paid back their money when they've asked. So, that is just purely, that's con artistry. Actually, I think, there we go.
They're already victims of abuse. These aren't strong people who might be able to just think, well, do you know what, sod it. If it's going to be like that, that they aren't just getting scammed by a telephone call about their electricity. These are victims of abuse who are going to somebody who have been literally stripped of every single thing that they were before, and they need rebuilding. And to find out that somebody like David is rebuilding them is just
terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Just quickly, also this is the other thing. So he went in his emails, his text messages from you. He went from being crazy narcissistic ex-girlfriend YouTube channel to David Demars coaching, life coach overnight. And then he claims that he's certified. However, in saying, he can say he's certified. You can literally go do a 5-hour course and be certified, but anyone who's actually
not make a life coach.
No, anyone who's actually done any actual certification in regards to life coaching or peer education or counseling or any kind of therapy. We don't use words and language like David Demars, we don't shame people, and we don't say you're nasty, you're disgusting, you're
Called a
foul.
pig.
Called you
You're
a pig.
Well, I got called a pig by David.
That's it. So, the red flags are definitely there. Unfortunately, though, a lot of people coming out of narcissistic abusive relationships don't realize that kind of behavior is not acceptable. Talking about people or talking to people that way is not acceptable, especially in that professional capacity. If he was just a YouTuber, sure, maybe he could do that. But, the fact is he's saying that he's a life coach. And therefore there are certain standards that he should be upholding, which he is not. So this particular email that I'm looking at right here says, I guess I should have known it was a red flag when PayPal told me they didn't want to do business with him because there's been numerous reports that it's not a reliable institution. And he asked for this person's credit card details over the phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fascinating. So, like I said, con artistry.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go to the should we go to the brain damage?
Just see what this bit is.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, so the BP, I actually didn't want to cover that because it is so
Do you want
so
to talk
intense.
about
People can go to check out your channel for this. I really just wanted to talk about how he talks about how he doesn't name you and stuff. So I want to put that.
This is it here.
Oh, here we go. Can you see that? So this is the link to his online petition. So for a long time, he was promoting Shane's Law, which is about cyberbullying. Which the irony is, not lost on us. No. And then this is the thumbnail to the online petition. I mean,
and I didn't realize it was me until I think
I mentioned it. Who does that look like? Oh, who is that?
But what's been really interesting is the fact that rather than just put a picture of me up, he's taken a photograph of me, taken it to a paint or a Pixar, and sat and rubbed my face out, then replaced my eyes with 2 little black circles. He's taken time to do that. That's not healthy behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if people will remember that not that long ago, he did a very bizarre, it was just an audio. He didn't do a video, so there was nothing on the camera. It was just an audio of him doing this, almost like, I don't know, it was weird, bizarre poetry or something that he was reading, and he sounded psychotic. He sounded like he was having a breakdown. I think he might have actually taken it off the channel because it didn't do very well. But I could quite imagine him, sitting there obsessing about this image. I mean, he can say whatever he wants about, he never mentions your name. He never talks about you, that he's such a good guy because he just always upholds that value. It's such a lie. He's such a liar. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie when it comes to you.
The reasons why he does that, I think there's many. First of all, by saying my name, I can get him done for defamation. Let's put it that way, because everything he said about me being stalking, writing to his family, texting his family, and all the things he's accused me of, I could get him done for defamation. So that's the first reason why he's not said my name. Second reason, if he says my name, people are going to come over to my channel and start watching my videos and go, hang on a minute, I don't think Val's the abuser. Thirdly, it is a way of just doing everything covertly. A lot of narcissistic people or manipulators do want to keep their hands clean, especially the covert type. They don't want people to see or to have any links back to them. So they use their enablers, their flying monkeys, their fake accounts. And this is what David's done. And this is why people don't see David's abuse, is because he's done it behind lots of manipulative ways. But also by he'll say my name. I said actually one video, why don't you say my name? And you'll see in a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me just play this bit, Val, because let me just see if this is the bit. Sorry.
I think that's it.
Oh, maybe it's before then.
Yeah,
let's have a look.
Me and stalking me. Have I told you who it is? I don't say anything. I don't make videos. I don't say their name, and I won't say their name, and I won't say their channel, and I won't say anything for you to know who they are.
Just quickly, God, how childish was that? The whole shaking his head like a 3-year-old. Very bizarre behavior. Sorry.
No,
I'm not going to say anything about them. I'm not posting their name, a photo, YouTube channel.
Provoking.
Whether if the person you're supporting, your narcissist channel, is really toxic, really toxic and not toxic free, then ask them to support Shane's Law petition. There's no reason why they shouldn't, right?
What's your channel called again, Val?
Toxic free is the one that he's been using. That's
Exactly.
what that's at toxic free. Oh yes,
Yeah.
so that's how he'd say my name. Because
Yeah.
again, it's dog whistling. It's like I said to him in a couple of videos, he never says my name, and then suddenly he starts saying sentences with the word toxic free in, and that's very childish. And that is like I'm going to say your name now, but I'm not going to let you know. But I was like, why are you playing these stupid games?
Because he's not well. He's just not well. Like Val, seriously, as an outsider seeing this, it's very, very clear that David Demars is not well. He can fake it for 20 minutes or however long he does his videos for. But, I've been watching him on and off over the years, and he's definitely not well. I just wanted to play this last little bit.
Yeah.
She claims that she's toxic free. She claims she's toxic free and a total empath, but all my videos are attacking people.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is his covert way of manipulating me. I'll just quickly explain.
Sweet.
Go on.
I do apologize, for some reason I keep going off the screen. But anyway, he would write, he does a Q&A, and he'd write questions to himself. And this is somebody, a lot of the time when you know a channel, you know the people who come and go, you know names and stuff. This sweet baby girl has never spoken, never seen her, and never saw her after this. She wrote us a question saying, can you tell me more about the smear campaign? I'm scared that your channel's going to come down. That was David's own self writing himself. I mean, this is where he gets when I say projection, it is when he says, oh, Val's been doing this to herself and then showing it as if it's her. He's actually been doing it, which is how he knows about it.
Absolutely.
And he pretended that he was this sweet baby girl, and so that he could actually talk.
Let me play it, Val. Let me play it.
Sweet baby girl, would love to know where you're from, sweet baby girl. David, I can't help but notice that the person who's had the smear campaign on you all year long is still going. I hope this isn't too personal a question, but would you mind saying how it affects you since it's gone on so long? I was really worried you're stopping making the videos. Well, first of all, I'm not going to stop making the videos. This person could make me do that. But thank you for your concern. Thank you for asking. So I've been invited.
Just quickly, the duper's delight on his face when he said
That's
that.
what I was going to say. Yeah, duper's delight. You can see
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's crying.
And for those who don't know what duper's delight is, he's getting pleasure from conning people into believing that sweet baby girl question, just randomly asking about Val, who hasn't had anything to do with him for over a year, and he just keeps reintroducing it.
He's keeping the fight going.
Like he keeps telling everyone it's been 6 years, 7 years, when actual fact it's you've known each other or known of him since 2016.
Yeah.
So let's just have a quick look at Ronnie. I wanted to talk about Ronnie because as you said, you held on to Ronnie's personal info for years because you didn't want to hurt her, you didn't want to expose her, what have you. But the reality is that, David Demars, like I said, has been saying some horrific stuff about you. And the latest thing is that, that Ronnie's actually dead, and that you've been just saying that you're talking to her and you're actually just crazy and talking to a dead person. It's fascinating to hear him actually talk about. So if he was actually an empathetic person at all, to be talking about his ex, being dead in the tone that he was, I mean, you just wouldn't. As I said, everything that David Demars says is a lie. We've proven just how easily he lies with the text messages. But let's go through just quickly the emails and not the emails, the messages from Ronnie. So Ronnie contacted you, or you contacted Ronnie? How did that start?
Ronnie contacted another friend of mine first and asked him if it'd be okay to contact me, and he said yes, and then he got us in touch. So she didn't want to bother me straight away because I think she really didn't know what to do, but she did want to contact me. So that's how I got told by this friend that Ronnie wanted to speak to me. So I then reached out to her, and then she reached out to me. So it was a kind of a mutual reach out thing.
Because this is actually quite interesting, because what she's saying here is what he's doing is extremely wrong and sick. These people would not be watching him if they knew who he really was. Fascinating. All right, I'm just going to play this.
Yeah, yeah. And it'll stop on only the relevant stuff.
Sure. All right. So, and as we said before, if people wanted to watch the video, they can watch it all on your channel. But you can see here, this is exchanges.
I only wanted to put out the important information. You know, again, I didn't want to play it all because I felt that really her privacy was being interrupted here. So I only put on the screen what needed to be put on.
Yeah, which is fair enough. But you can see here quite obviously that it's been interchanged between you. Yeah. So what you described is completely him. Just sounds like he is more sick since I left him. I've always felt he has a dangerous mind. He always played the weirdest games with people. Nobody stayed in our lives for long because of him. All my close friends slowly started to leave me because they didn't like him. I can't dive into this right now. This morning, I'm pretty broken right now. My mind is jello, and I just don't have the energy for this for now. I'll get a hold of you when I feel a little better.
Is she stressed? It was just hard for her.
His mind is dangerous as hell. You live across the ocean. I cannot go to the supermarket without constantly scanning my environment because I'm afraid he could be there. He knows my area of town. He knows I probably wouldn't ever leave it. He could find me easily. It's less than a 2-hour flight. As for you, I don't know what you've shared with him. I don't know. Oh, I didn't know he did that to his room and all the other stuff you just told me. It sounds like he's way more sick than when we were together. To me, he is dangerous. You can't trust crazy. Yeah, I mean, this is coming from the person that knows him the absolute best out of everyone.
10 years they were together?
Yeah, interesting. All right. Yeah, his mind is dangerous.
So what I've done is I've enlarged the important bits here. Holy cow, is sick. How can a person live like that? I can't understand. He's so freaking sick. I feel horrible that he has gone after others. It's taken me a long time to realise what a suck life was when I was living with him. I now feel like it was one big scam. I honestly feel like if I didn't get away from him that night, he probably would have killed me. It was so horrible, you know. It's just a nightmare for me to have to bring these out. It's really upsetting for me to know that
I know, and I get that. I really do understand that, but I feel at the same time that, you know, it's really important that people realize just how dangerous he is, and how disordered he is, you know, because he's got people watching his channel. He's got innocent victims.
See, I've had this person.
Here we go.
Sorry, so he's got innocent victims ringing him up, wanting to have his life coaching, not knowing that he's abused other women, other victims, other clients of his, you know, so, and other coaches or other channels, you know, he's abused quite a few people.
I've had somebody check this person out.
Oh,
every little detail. Now
that's really interesting, Val, just quickly. He's literally just admitted that he's had someone stalk you or look into your past, like a private detective or something. That in and of itself is cyber stalking.
Yeah.
Detail of their life.
In every detail of her life.
She cuts hair out of her apartment, out of one barber chair. Go figure, right? One-on-one. One barber chair cuts men's hair out of her apartment and makes videos.
Oh dear. I mean, this is the thing, Val. He just lies and lies and lies. He lies. It's so natural to him to lie. And he just thought that you would never come forth, that you'd never stand up to him with the proof.
I've got my photographs. I mean, this is how I was, sorry again, this is how I throw myself under the bus, because most people wouldn't do this. This man is so dangerous to people. I'm sorry, I keep screen. I'm willing to even put photographs of to prove how this man lies. You know, he's saying that. I mean, can I also say as well, we have to look at this logically. People who deal with narcissists, they have to look at what they say logically and stop going, oh my God, she's in a chair in her living room. Okay, how does he know this? Has he done it, or has he got a stalker to climb up 2 stories and look through my living room window to see me cutting hair with a man? The logic is ridiculous. There's no
there is
way
no logic.
Even if I did have a chair in here and cut men's hair only, how does he know? Even only has he sat and watched all the customers come in to see if there's any women involved. We have to.
I don't know, but one thing I do know from looking at that poster behind you is that that's a lovely men's haircut, that long purple.
Exactly. You know, it's. I really just cannot believe how this man has got away with it. And what upsets me is that this man is the very man that's abusing them, who they've tried to get away from. So they're trying to get away from their abusers and fix from their abusers, but they're actually using the very man who has the same personality disorder that the person that tried to get away with to heal. What he's doing, also before we move on, and I know this is, you know, we're dragging this on, but hey, this is 45 years worth of stuff. I know from talking to people that half the time when he gets to his Zoom calls, he's either drunk, we know that, unshaved. A lot of the time he doesn't have the right information. One girl, we'll call her Debbie, said, oh, right, so you're Jean. And she went, no, I'm Debbie. He goes, oh, sorry, I've got the wrong stuff. Right, won't be a minute. You know, and he's unprepared, he's drunk, he talks about his penis. But then what the thing is, because he wants control of people, and I know this from talking to somebody on the phone who was a victim of his for a very long time, he tells people, and this is how I've cut out then, I keep cutting out. He tells people that they have to leave their family. He tells people that they need to leave their boyfriend because their boyfriend's borderline personality disorder. Now, on my mother's life, this is what he said to people. He's not met the boyfriend. He doesn't know anything about the boyfriend except for what the client has talked about, the relationship. But he's saying you need to leave him. He sounds like his borderline personality disorder. You need to leave your family, move away. And these people are doing that. And they're ending up in a worse situation. But because they've been abused by their abuser, then they've been abused by David, they don't know where else to go.
Yeah.
So they end up
there's no doubt he's dangerous.
Off. And that's why I did my videos, so that people could come to me, and they did do. And this is where I know the stories, how David has stalked, harassed. One girl got her money back, and again, it was in the letters earlier on, and she took it back from PayPal. He emailed her, threatening her. He said, you're a scumbag. You're a scumbag for stealing money off me. And his quote was, thief equals scumbag. This is what he does. If you get your money back, or you go through PayPal because you're not happy because he's drunk or he's abusing you, or you just don't like him, he will accuse you of being a scumbag thief. Now, imagine having a therapist leave you with that in your head.
Yeah.
And you've got no one else to turn to, because obviously then you've lost faith in all life coaches.
And you know, just quickly, can I just say, it's quite believable. Like when you listen to the things that David Demars says online on camera, it's quite believable that he would call someone those names in a private environment. Can I just quickly we need to end this video soon, but I just wanted to play just a little bit more of what you've got here.
And I have compassion. I don't need to expose people. Her entire channel is to make me look like I'm smearing her, because I get death threats all the time. And it's every time she used to make a video, I'd get more death threats, and they'd say it's because of her. They'd say they've talked to her and she told them to do it.
Look at the childish face he's got there.
I know.
You know,
it's laughable.
Is he having a conversation with people? So he gets a death threat, then he has a conversation about where the person got the information then to give the death threat. And logic, guys. How are you chatting to a person who's giving you a death threat and they're saying, well, they told me to do it to you because they think they're great?
I know.
It's made
just
up.
None of it makes any sense at all. And you can tell with his facial expressions, like he knows that he's just telling lies, but at the end of the day, he doesn't care, and he enjoys the power that he has over his audience. I'm just going to play some more, Val.
said that, oh, you're a great person. You're serving the community so well by doing this.
People sending death threats.
He never even showed.
Yeah, that's right. Never shows any of them. There's never any proof.
No proof. Never.
She might commit suicide. They're afraid for her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. He's always
play that bit again, because that is, watch his face, his demeanor. I've gone off this.
That's fine. He's always talking about how, oh, he's contacted the FBI and he's spoken to the police, but they won't do anything because they're so worried about your mental health.
Me, bullied me for 4 years. Police get involved, and they're scared to go tell her to stop because they said that she's so unstable she might commit suicide. They're afraid for her.
So the police have never come to see you, Val?
Well, no, they haven't, obviously, because they're going to come from Las Vegas. Apparently, as well, they came over in the middle of the COVID, the thing that no one flew, but they came over to get me in the middle of the planes were all shut down. And apparently they're scared to tell me to stop because I'm going to commit suicide. Firstly, in the UK, like I say here, if I was suicidal, whether I was guilty of something or not, the policeman's not going to be scared to tell me and walk away. They'd arrest me anyway, but they'd make sure they put me on suicide watch. Or if they knew that I wasn't, guilty, they would call the crisis hotline and get someone to come and take me and have me sectioned or something, take me to hospital. You have to look at, this is a learning curve, people. Please, please, please analyze what people are saying, because really it's not real. There's no reality involved in that. No policeman is going to ever be too scared to tell a woman to stop stalking, and then not too scared to speak to her in case she commits suicide, and then they leave me. Bye.
I know. He just makes up things, and unfortunately people come out of narcissistic abusive relationships thinking that their narcissist is the only abuser in the entire world and that the rest of the world's a safe place. In actuality, the narcissism channels on YouTube are, unfortunately, there are quite a few of them that are run by narcissists or abusers, and it's the perfect place. It's, full of victims who are trusting, who are naive, and who think that their narcissist was the only narcissist, right? And there's no proof. This is the other thing. Absolutely no proof. He keeps talking about all this stuff. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Val.
Just before this bit, sorry, Freedom. Just play his face.
Is this when he's saying to you when there's no evidence, basically, and you've said to him, please show me evidence?
Show me of my evidence. Show me. And just listen to what he says before it. A little bit further before this, I think. Right.
Yeah, it's just here. Oh, that face. Jeez, gives you nightmares. Okay. So the truth stays consistent, which is very true. All right. Let's have a look at David Demars.
Not fighting with him. That's what mine wants. Mine has sat there in videos and go, make videos about me. Make videos about me. Say my name. I'm not kidding.
So that's when you asked him for evidence, basically, that you'd abused him or you'd stalked his family. That's him mocking and changing the context of the question.
So that he doesn't have proof. Let's see the clip David's referring to.
Put it up. Put it up. Make a video. Please, I'm actually asking you now. I'm begging you. Please make a video for me and for everybody else of all the proof that you found that I am the things that you're talking about in everything since New Year's Eve. Prove to me my disorder. Prove to me the fact that I'm mentally ill. Prove to me that I've done identity theft. I'm challenging you because I'd love to see it. That's how truthful I know I am.
A video where you lose it, where you're crazy. That's their favorite word, crazy, crazy, crazy. And they love calling people narcissists.
Says the
A
one.
lot of you know there's a person.
Sorry, I just have to laugh considering that his channel, like he's talking about, they love saying crazy, crazy, and his channel literally used to be called Crazy Narcissistic Ex-Girlfriend. And they love using the word narcissist.
Which is all that he's called me throughout the whole fake stalking situation.
Jeez. I'm going to have to just play this last little bit and then we're going to wrap it up, Val.
That's been making hundreds of videos on 4 different channels.
So hundreds of videos. In actual fact,
No. Earlier on, there's a bit that people watch the video, they'll see I've actually only made 19 in 4 years.
19 videos in 4 years.
19.
And you haven't done any videos on him in the last year at least.
No. And I had 197 videos anyway on that channel about me and my abuse and supportive. They can go and watch all the videos. They're not all about him. Had I created that channel, firstly, to actually just abuse him, I met him during the channel. How could I would have had to know him before the channel to have created it to then abuse him. Again, logical. There's no reality in it.
No, there isn't. And this is it. This leads us back to where we started. David Demars can say whatever he wants about this now, but David Demars' credibility is shot to hell. He can say whatever he wants now. He can try and discredit you, disprove it, whatever. The fact is his word means nothing, means zero. He has lied and lied and lied, and you've proven it really, really clearly. Like there's just nowhere for him to go now. You know, absolutely nowhere for him to go. We've had his own words. You've shown him saying it. You know, his whole, I don't say her name, and then calling the toxic free. And, you know, you've literally shown him, I've never met her, never spoken to her, showed 14 months of text messages and communication.
And about 15 hours of flipping audio chat.
Exactly.
5 or 6 different hour and a half to 2 hours audio
exactly.
chat. Just mad.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. He's got nowhere to go from now on in. So I need to wrap this up, Val, because we've been going on for a while. I love talking to you about this. I'm really glad to finally have done this video. And if we do have an opportunity to talk about it more, I'm open to that if you would be interested in doing that. Okay, that'd be great. Is there anything you want to say before we finish up today?
Again, what people have always said to me over time is why don't you just leave it? Why don't you just, stop watching him? It's not about me, and it's never been about me. And it's so upsetting to know that they twist and turn your intent into what their intent would be by making the videos. I'm not trying to make my channel big. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to be the hero, which is what I get called. I'm just one of life's good people that are trying to point out the bad people and warn people. And this is why if you're bad and you get exposed, that's when these people will blame the person exposing. It's like, look, they have to cover their tracks. Just don't be a bad person and he won't be exposed. He's now stalked me into my community that I'm in now. I covered this before a little bit. I don't know if, I'm going to just say the Rusick family who've lost their Shanann, Bella, Cece and little Nico, who was an unborn baby boy. If you've watched the Netflix movie or you know about this, Chris Watts murdered his family in a most brutal, disgusting way. And there's a guy called Armchair Detective. I want to quickly touch on this because this is important, that I exposed because he's lying about the victims. He's creating videos to make money out of dead children. He's done so much wrong. And I'm just one of life's people that, I stick my nose in. I want to expose people. And I've got an attitude and a big mouth. But I'm going to use my platform because I've been through shit myself and I don't want other people to go through shit. Excuse my swearing. So that's what I've started. What happened is now David's got into this community. So I tried to walk away from him and I quit Toxic Free because I'd had enough of being stalked. And I moved away. Now I'm helping the Rusick family. He's now followed me. Who's the stalker? If I was really stalking David, why doesn't he leave me alone? You've got to think about, he's the person who's not leaving me alone. Oh, that sounds like a stalker to me.
Absolutely.
So now coming in and he's talking to the people who are on the Rusick side or on Alan's side, and he's trying to cause trouble in this community. There's people in this community now, the crime community. That's the kind of one that I've got out of the narcissistic one I was in. I'm in the crime community, trying to help the Rusicks take Alan Vinicum to court for the slanderous defamation abuse that he's caused them for 4 years. And I'm supporting the Rusicks. I'm trying to do a good thing. But bad people in the world will always point at the good things people are doing and make them bad because for some reason they just don't like it. I am being stalked by David in this community now, and he's causing trouble for me in the crime community. He's causing trouble for all the people who trust me. I've been supporting the Rusicks, Now he's going to start defaming my name in this community, so maybe what people don't believe me, and then it's detrimental to the Rusex because of everything I've said. I don't want this to happen anymore. I want it to stop. And David needs to stop. People need to know that he's a life coach. If he was a normal bloke who had started stalking me 4 years ago, I would have shut my computer off and not even replied. But the stuff that this man has done to me and to others and to Ronnie and to his victims and to clients and to that woman in Mexico who's harassed and now is in therapy again because of him, he's a dangerous man. Now, I'm getting quite passionate now, and I'm sorry for getting stressed out because it's really, really upset me. I've had 4 or 5 years of this. I'm not counting. He seems to be doing that. Every single video, he always says, oh, you know, I've got a stalker. You know, I've got a stalker, my stalker, my stalker. Stop talking about me. That's stalking. You know, you've been going on about me for so long. Don't, if I was your stalker, David, stop provoking me. Stop making videos about me. Stop following me around in the community. Stop bad-mouthing to people. And this is
if he was actually a life coach, Val, just quickly, if he was actually a life coach, especially in the narcissistic abuse, I mean, the very first thing that we teach people is no contact, which means we don't talk about them, we don't watch them, we don't, know about them, we don't think about them, we don't engage at all with them. So, even by that very basic token, he's quite literally kind of exposing himself there. He's doing the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. So he's just proving once again, he's not a life coach. He's just someone who's put up this shingle, essentially. He's a snake oil salesman. He's a con artist. He's dangerous. He's violent. By the sounds of it, he's physically abusive with Ronnie, by the sounds of it, with her comments about, being black-eyed and bloodied in the police station, and with the allegations in Mexico of sexual abuse. So, he is a dangerous man. And once again, I do want to thank you, because I know that this has been hard, because I've known you for these years and we've talked throughout these years, and I've known the toll this has taken on you, because you were a smaller channel. This is the other thing as well. You were a smaller channel, and he used his platform and all those years of dog whistling and all the abuse and all the other people. And now, like you say, now he's trying to get
interview people. Apparently,
exactly.
Some of these people that don't like me for exposing
AD. So AD.
They are now saying, oh, I found a guy who Val's abused for 10, 15 years. And it's like, it's growing. Where's it going to be in 5 years? This needs to stop now. Actually, people who don't like me because of my, if you're going to expose bad people, the bad people are going to come after you. Let's put it that way. So the bad people that I've been exposing, because that's just me, they are now using David as a weapon. They're now going to get David onto that. Why would David then now follow me and do interviews? Why does he that's not right. So they're using David as a weapon to get to me. David's going on about how crazy I am because I'm talking about his dead girlfriend, pretending to talk to her. No, she's alive. Before I go, Ronnie's alive. And again, if this gets back to Ronnie, I'm so sorry.
Just quickly, when you say, I know that you're sorry, and we can feel that. Just quickly, so the last time you saw Ronnie online was what? Last week.
So we're just going to put days ago, last week. What we're on now, Sunday. I think it was beginning of this week. It says the date on top of in the video.
Yeah. So, once again, there is proof out there. I hope that people do watch the video. I hope that people take the time to actually listen and to your side, because when you listen to David Demars and then you listen to your side makes so much more sense. It's so much more logical. It's so much more genuine. But, when people just listen to David Demars, it's easy to listen and believe a false narrative.
The bias.
And just, get sucked into it. Yeah, he absolutely does. He absolutely does. So you did a good job getting away from him. That's the other thing as well. All right, my darling, listen, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so very much for your time tonight. As I said, let's talk more about this later on. And I'll put all the links to the videos down in the comments. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. And thank you for the support. Take care.
You're most welcome. See you, darling. Bye.